It's a common bit of business knowledge that it's easier to keep a customer than to win a new one. We all work to provide products as well as customer service that inspires our customers to stay with us and not be a one time purchase. But business is dynamic, and we will experience customer turnover and attrition no matter how good we are and how hard we try. It's just a fact of life. So, always keeping a pipeline of potential new customers should be part of our regular business activities. In 2012, QuickBooks added a feature known as the Lead Center. The Lead Center is a way of tracking potential customers without having to enroll them or enter them as a real customer, which can kind of muddy things up. We can access it from the customer menu by coming about two-thirds of the way down to the bottom and clicking or tapping Lead Center. The Lead Center looks like all of the other centers that we have available to us in QuickBooks. It shares a common layout and functionality. We currently don't have any leads, so the first thing we would need to do is to add some. Now, there's a couple of ways to do this. I really like the option to import multiple leads. If we've gone to something like a trade show and we've entered all of that information onto a spreadsheet, this will be the fastest, easiest, most accurate way to get the information into QuickBooks. This is really no different than working with any of the other import or table features that we now have in QuickBooks. But we'll go ahead and simply click the New Lead option, which not surprisingly opens a form that also looks very familiar like other forms that we've seen in QuickBooks. We won't enter all of the information, but let's go ahead and put in just a few pieces of information about a new lead. One of the obvious and first differences about working with leads is we actually have a status, and the status isn't active or inactive, it's hot, warm, or cold. Most of us that work with leads know what this means. So let's say that we met Aaron Olson, who I'm entering the record for, at a trade show, was very interested in our products, so we're going to enter that as a warm lead. Next, we'll enter just a little bit of company information. When it comes to working with locations, we can actually have multiple locations for a lead, just like we can for a customer. The main address is currently not available, but we can put in a location that's required, as well as the actual address itself. In the Lead Center, the contact information actually has its own tab. Okay, I think we've looked at enough typing and entered enough information to get us started. So, as usual, all we need to do is click or tap the OK button at the bottom of the screen. Now that we have at least one lead entered, we can see that this center behaves and performs just like all of the other centers in QuickBooks. We see leads listed along the left, and when we select one, we get to work with the information on the right. For each lead, we have the opportunity to keep track of to-do items, a variety of contacts, different business locations, and even keep notes. Some people get a little bit confused about the difference between to-dos and notes. A to-do, like its name suggests, is something that we need to take action on. This functionality is actually available throughout QuickBooks. Here, we would want to keep track of all of the follow-up or promoting for an event or anything else that we want to do with this lead that's going to help convince them to become a customer. If we schedule a to-do by adding a due date and time, it will show up on our calendar so we can keep track of everything, including information for leads as well as customers, vendors, and employees. What then are we supposed to do with notes? Well, notes work in a similar way, except notes do not have any particular activity or action required with them. The notes area is a good place to keep any research that we do, any helpful items that we may have conversations about. Often, when I first meet somebody, we have discussions about what they're particularly looking for, and sometimes even personal information. I like to keep track of the personal information because that way, when I make the contact, I can mention little things that will make them say, hey, this person actually paid attention to what I was saying and cares about me. I'm in the habit of scribbling down notes on the back of business cards for people that I meet at trade shows or in other networking events. That information, along with all of the information on the formal business card, all goes into the Lead Center. If at any time we want to have a summary, we can move to the right-hand side and we can click to create a quick report. This, of course, is something that we can print. So if I get a meeting with this person, I can take the printout and I can have all of the relevant information to both confirm what I think is accurate, like contact information, but also to remind me of those little pieces of information that I wanted to remember. Now, if all of our efforts are fruitful, then we can easily convert the lead into an actual customer. And that can be done from the upper right-hand side of the screen or by right-clicking the name in the leads list on the left. Little thing to be aware of, though, is that once we convert a lead into a customer, there's no going back. We can't bring them back to lead status. So we should make sure that this is something we actually want to do. We'll go ahead and click the option. It asks us if we are sure that we want to convert the lead to a customer and reminds us that we cannot undo the action. We'll say that is just fine, and we'll click or tap yes to make the conversion. QuickBooks is nice enough to then open the Customer Center and show us that the contact information has indeed been converted to an active customer. This really saves a tremendous amount of time, effort, energy, and unfortunately, lost leads because we don't have things in one place. The Lead Center is not a CRM, but it does provide a convenient way to track potential customers and some simple activities and notes in QuickBooks without having to enter them as real customers and muddying up that part of our business. Try utilizing the Lead Center for all of the information that you need to store in the process of converting those people to valued customers.